Nonetheless, my parents were puzzled. So tell me, my child, what do you want to be when you grow up? A prophet. I want to be a doctor. That's fine, my love, that's fine. I feel guilty towards God. You want to be a doctor? I thought that. No, I will be a prophet, but they mustn't know. I wanted to be justice, love, and the wrath of God all in one. My faith was not unshakable. The year of the revolution, I had to take action, so I put my prophetic destiny aside for a while. Today my name is Che Guevara. I am Fidel, and I want to be Trotsky. We demonstrated in the garden of our house, "Down with the king, down with the king." The revolution is like a bicycle. When the wheels don't turn, it falls. Well spoken. And so went the revolution in my country. After a long sleep of 2,500 years, the revolution has finally awakened the people. 2,500 years of tyranny and submission, as my father said. First, our own emperors, then the Arab invasion from the west, followed by the Mongolian invasion from the east, and finally modern imperialism. To enlighten me, they bought books. I knew everything about the children of Palestine, about Fidel Castro, about the young Vietnamese killed by the Americans, about the revolutionaries of my country. But my favorite was a comic book entitled Dialectic Materialism. In my book, you could see Marx and Descartes. The material world doesn't exist. It's only a reflection of our own imagination, says you. You mean that even though you see this stone in my hand, it doesn't exist, since it's only in your imagination? Exactly. Ouch, what are you doing, Carl? You broke my skull. It was funny to see how much Marx and God looked like each other, though Marx's hair was a bit curlier. Despite everything, God came to see me from time to time. So you don't want to be a prophet anymore. Let's talk about something else. You think I look like Marx? I told you to talk about something else. Tomorrow the weather is going to be nice. It will be 75 degrees Fahrenheit in the shade. Shh, wait a second. They burned down the Rex Cinema tonight. Oh my God. The doors had been locked from the outside a few minutes before the fire. The police were there. They forbade people to rescue those locked inside. Then they attacked them. The firemen didn't arrive until 40 minutes later. The BBC said there were 400 victims. The Shah said that a group of religious fanatics perpetrated the massacre, but the people knew that it was the Shah's fault. Tomorrow there will be another demonstration. Obviously, we can't let things like that happen. I want to go too. Don't you think I look like Che Guevara? Maybe I'll be even better as Fidel Castro. Where are you? Are you there? I want to come with you tomorrow. Where? To demonstrate on the street. I am sick and tired of doing it in the garden. It is very dangerous. They shoot people. For a revolution to succeed, the entire population must support it. You can participate later on. Sure, when it's all over. Mom, please. Oh no. Come on, you're going to bed now. Please. God, where are you? That night, he didn't come. My parents demonstrated every day. Things started to degenerate. The army shot at them, and they threw stones at the army. After marching and throwing stones all day, by evening they had aches all over, even in their heads. Hey Mom, Dad, let's play Monopoly. Darling, we are tired. Now is not the right time. Monopoly? I can't believe it. Haha. It is never the right time. As for me, I love the king. He was chosen by God. Who told you that? My teacher and God himself. Come sit on my lap. I'll try to explain it to you. Good, explain everything. I'm going to bed. God did not choose the king. He did so. It's written on the first page of our school book. That's what they say. The truth is that 50 years ago, the father of the Shah, who was a soldier, organized a push to overthrow the emperor and install a republic. If it is God's will, we will reach the capital in 19 days. God is with us, Reza. God is with us. And even if he isn't, what can stop us? At the time, the Republican ideal was popular in the region, but everybody interpreted it in his own way. Gandhi in India, the Hindus and the Muslims must make peace to overthrow the British. Ataturk in Turkey, we are the Turks. We are secular, Westerners. For proof, look at my green eyes. So the father of the Shah wanted to do the same, but he wasn't educated like Gandhi, who was a lawyer. Nor was he a leader of men like Ataturk, who was a general. He was an illiterate, low-ranking officer. A blessing for the very influential British who soon learned of his projects. The country is rich, and the Bolsheviks are near. What's that soldier's name again? Reza. We should go meet him. Immediately, Persia is full of oil. Well, Reza, shining your boots? When you are emperor, your Secretary of State will shine them for you. Emperor? But of course, my friend, it's much better than being president. But there already is an emperor. I want to create a republic. The religious leaders are against it, and they're right. A vast country like yours needs a holy symbol. You will have everything, power, shoe shiners, and even more, anything you want in cash. What do I have to do? Nothing. You just give us the oil and we'll take care of the rest. And that's how he became king, and naturally his son succeeded him. God has nothing whatsoever to do with this story. Maybe God helped them, nevertheless. I think you are old enough to understand certain things you should know. I should know what? The emperor that was overthrown was Grandpa's father. My grandpa? Grandpa was a prince? Yes, among others. But that's not the question. What do you mean that's not the question? My grandpa was a prince. At the time, your grandpa was a young man, and the father of the Shah confiscated everything he owned. Don't forget the tiles in the bathroom. Go right ahead, don't let anything stop you. And since your entourage was uneducated, your grandpa was named Prime Minister. As of today, you are my Prime Minister. You're pleased, aren't you? You have diplomas. They have to be put to use. Thanks. He had studied in Europe. He was a very cultivated man. He had even read Marx. The workers, how can he believe that the rabble can rule? Once he was sidetracked from his princely destiny, he began to meet intellectuals. The Bolsheviks make miracles. The Emperor of Persia is not Reza Shah, but the King of England. When I was prince, all of this seemed so distant. That is really the problem of our country. Only a prince can allow himself to have a conscience, so he became a communist. It disgusts me that people are condemned to a bleak future by their social class. Long live Lenin. So he was often sent to prison. Sometimes they put him in a cell filled with water for hours. I remember when I was a small girl, every time there was a knock on the door, I thought they were coming to take my father to prison. And one time, out of two, it was really true. Hello, is your mother there? No, why? Is your father home? No. Your grandma and I went to visit him. Daddy, can I ride your back? Stop it, he is tired. Of course you can. Giddy up, giddy up. The poor man, prison had destroyed his health. He had rheumatism. All his life he was in pain. Come on, that time is past. Do you want to play Monopoly? I want to take a bath. We can play after your bath if you want to. No, I want to take a really long bath. That night I stayed a very long time in the bath. I wanted to know what it felt like to be in a cell filled with water. What are you doing? One day after school, hi Mom. Hi, go and look in the guest room. There's a surprise for you. Grandma, are you leaving already? No, I'm just changing. Mom told me that Grandpa had been in prison. How was school? It must have been very hard on you. Oh, my back. Can I help you? No, I'm okay. As you say, it was very hard for me, but also for your mother and for your uncles. The Shah's father took everything we owned. I lived in poverty. What? You mean you were poor too? Oh yes, so poor that we only had bread to eat. I was so ashamed that I pretended to cook so that the neighbors wouldn't notice anything. Mom is cooking something good. Come on, she is just boiling water again. To survive, I took in sewing, and with leftover material, I made clothes for the whole family. Look how well dressed we all are in this photo. Why isn't Grandpa there? Was he in prison? Yes, the father of the Shah was very tough, but his son was 10 times worse. You know, my child, since the dawn of time, dynasties have succeeded each other, but the kings always kept their promises. The Shah kept none. I remember the day he was crowned. He said, I am the light of the Aryans. I will make this country the most modern of all time. Our people will regain their splendor. He even went to the grave of Cyrus the Great, who ruled over the ancient world. Cyrus, rest in peace. We are looking after Persia. All the country's money went into ridiculous celebrations of the 2,500 years of dynasty and other frivolities. All of this to impress heads of state. The population couldn't have cared less. I'm so happy that there is finally a revolution because the Shah. I'm hungry. I brought you some books. You will see why the people are revolting. She won't tell me about Grandpa. Your daughter says she's hungry. Well, she has to wait for her father. He'll be back soon. Who? My father had gone to take some photos of the demonstration, but this time he was very late. He took photos every day. It was strictly forbidden. He had even been arrested once, but escaped at the last minute. We waited for him for hours. There was the same silence as before a storm. I thought that my father was dead, that they had shot him. Hello, I'm home. Ebby, thank God. If you only knew how worried I was. Something incredible happened. Yeah, I almost had a heart attack. Dad! I was sure you were dead. Today I went to Ray Hospital with my camera. People came out carrying the body of a young man killed by the army. He was honored like a martyr. A crowd gathered to take him to the Bayeshite Zera cemetery. And then there was another cadaver, an old man carried out on a stretcher. Those who didn't follow the first one went over to the old man, shouting revolutionary slogans and calling him a hero. Here is another martyr. Well, I was taking my photos when I noticed an old woman next to me. I understood that she was the widow of the victim. I had seen her leave the hospital with the body. Please, stop it, stop it. What? What is it? Stop it. Who are you? His widow. Are you a royalist? No, but my husband died of cancer. What? Of what? What is she saying? The king is a killer, but he won't be a winner. We will catch you one day and make you pay. No problem. He's a hero. But the rest is even better, because the widow started demonstrating with them. The king is a killer, she shouted. Haha, it's too funny. If I die now, at least I will be a martyr. Grandma martyr. Something escaped me. Cadaver, cancer, death, murderer, laughter. I realized then that I didn't understand anything. I read all the books I could. I'd never read as much as I did during that period. My favorite author was Ali Ashraf Darvishian, a kind of local Charles Dickens. I went to his clandestine book signing with my mother. Why does he speak like that? It's just his accent. He told sad but true stories. Reza became a porter at the age of 10. Leela wove carpets at age 5. Hassan, 3 years old, cleaned car windows. Get down from there, stupid. I finally understood why I felt ashamed to sit in my father's Cadillac. The reason for my shame and for the revolution is the same, the difference between social classes. But now that I think of it, we have a maid at home. This is Mary. She was 8 years old when she had to leave her parents' home to come to work for us, just like Reza, Leela, and Hassan. We have too many children, 14 or 15, including her. She will eat well at your house. We will take care of her. She was just 10 years old when I was born. She took care of me. She played with me, and she always finished my food. She also told me stories about jackals that scared me, and it came closer, and it came closer. At the beginning of the revolution in 1978, she fell in love with the neighbor's son. She was 16 years old. Can you help me lace my shoes? Every night they looked at each other from the window of my room, until the day he slipped her a letter. Like most peasants, she didn't know how to read or write. Can you read me my letter? What will you give me in exchange? My mother had tried to teach her, but apparently she was not very talented. So let's repeat. M as in carrot. So I wrote the letters for her, one each week for 6 months. My dear Hossein, I miss you a lot. It has been 3 days since I saw you at the window. I often talk about you to my sister. Which sister? You. I was very devoted. Mary had a real sister 1 year younger who worked at my uncle's house. You know, I have a fiance. Oh really, who? It's him, in front of the TV. Isn't he handsome? Not bad. After a few visits, she fell in love with him too. Her jealousy was more than she could bear, and she told Mary's story to my uncle, who told it to Grandma, who told it to Mom. That is how the story reached my father, who decided to clarify the situation. Who's there? I am your neighbor. I would like to have a few words with your son. Okay, I'll get straight to the point. I know that Mary pretends she is my daughter. In reality, she is my maid. Really? Do you want to continue seeing her? Without any hesitation, Hossein gave all the letters he had received to my father. But this is Margie's handwriting. Tell me what these are. Letters. Why didn't you tell us anything? You must understand that their love was impossible. Why is that? Because in this country you must stay within your social class. But is it her fault that she was born where she was born? Dad, are you for or against social classes? When I went back to her room, she was crying. We were not in the same social class, but at least we were in the same bed. When I finally understood the reason for the revolution, I made my decision. Tomorrow, we are going to demonstrate. We are not allowed. Don't worry, we are going anyway. So the next day, take care. Mary, don't forget to cook her some chicken. Yes, madame. See you later. For once, she didn't insist on coming with us. There's the demonstration. We shouted from morning till night.